Congratulations on purchasing your new Maplevilles custom quality cabinets. In this video, we will be providing step-by-step instructions on how to assemble a 36-inch base cabinet with 2 doors and 2 drawers. The first thing to do is gather your tools. You will need a Phillips head screwdriver, a rubber mallet, and a box cutter or something sharp to open the box containing the cabinet. We recommend that you use a cordless screwdriver or drill to speed up the process. Making sure you give yourself a large workspace to build the cabinet and that you place the cabinet pieces on a surface that will not scratch the wood finish. Cut the tape to open the box. Be careful not to cut into the cardboard itself as you could damage the cabinet. You can use the lid of the box to set parts in as you unpack the cabinet pieces. Organizing similar parts together will make assembling the cabinet even easier. The box should include the cabinet back, doors, drawers, and face frame. These should be handled carefully during assembly to prevent scratches. The box should also include dovetail drawer boxes, white brackets for the drawer slides, hardware to assemble the cabinet, toe kick, cabinet bottom, middle shelf, drawer slides and hardware, and cabinet side panels. Once you've had everything unpacked, remove the box and all the packing materials to another area. Make sure there are no parts left in the box. Now that you have a clean and safe area to assemble the cabinet, open up the package that has all the hardware needed to assemble the cabinet. We suggest sorting the assembly hardware so that all the same pieces are together. Note that part of the hardware is 4 white or clear plastic corner braces. These will be used with small wood screws to square up the cabinet box and add stability. Because Maplevilles cabinets are made using 5/8 cabinet grade plywood, they can handle many heavy countertops, including stone and concrete. Now we are ready to start assembly. Lay down the right side panel with bottom facing you. The bottom is where the cutout is for the toe kick. You will notice that there are some round holes drilled out on the cabinet along the sides. This is where you will put the cams. The cams are the round metal pieces of assembly hardware. Put 1 cam in each hole. Now you're ready to screw in the nut locks. The nut locks look like a pinion with one end threaded and the other end with a round nut on the end. You will find already pre-marked holes on the edge of the side panels where the 2 nut locks go. When screwing in nut locks, it is important that you do not overscrew them in. They only need to be screwed in until the flange is flush with the surface of the sideboard. If you're using a cordless screwdriver or drill, you will want to set the clutch on a high setting so that you do not overscrew the nut lock. The setting you will need will vary by manufacturer, so begin by setting it on the highest number and then moving it down as it is needed. The last hardware that needs to be installed in the right side panel are the pinions that the middle shelf will sit on. You will see the pre-drilled holes for these pinions. To install, use a rubber mallet and gently pound them in. If the holes are not large enough, then you can slightly drill them out. Now it is time to do the same thing to the left side panel as you did to the right one. Begin by laying down the panel with the bottom towards you. The bottom again is where the knockout is for the toe kick. Put the round cams in the round holes on the right side of the left panel. Put the nut locks in the same way you did on the right side of the panel. You will find the pre-drilled holes marked on the unfinished edge. Again, be careful not to screw the nut lock in below the flange. The flange should be flush with the wood panel. Put in the pinions to hold the middle shelf. Pound them in with the rubber mallet. Now it is time to work on the back panel of the cabinet. You will notice that there are round holes in the back panel. Put the cams in the round holes on the back panel of the cabinet. The toe kick needs 4 lock nuts attached to it so that it can be attached to the cabinet sides. Once the back panel and the toe kick have lock nuts installed, they can be set aside. To attach the left side panel to the back panel, you need to lay the left side panel down with the toe kick facing you. Take the back panel with the finished side facing you and put the 2 lock nuts into where the round holes are that hold the cams. Now, using a screwdriver, turn the cams to lock them in place with the nut lock. Do not use an electric screwdriver or cordless electric drill as it will have too much torque. Hand tighten only with a Phillips head screwdriver. It is recommended that you maintain a hand on the back panel while you are locking the cams into the lock nuts. To attach the right side panel, stand the cabinet up and put the right side panel lock nuts into the round holes holding the cams. Using your Phillips head screwdriver, hand tighten the cams to lock them in place with the lock nut. Lay the cabinet down with the back on the ground and the cabinet sides facing up with the toe kick cut out in front of you. Now, attach the toe kick boards to the right and left side panels by putting the lock nuts into the holes where the cams are. Tighten the cams with a screwdriver to lock them in place. You will notice that the cabinet box is much more stable now that the toe kick board has been secured to the cabinet. While the cabinet is laying on its back, slide in the bottom shelf. Make sure that when you slide in the bottom shelf of the cabinet that a finished side is facing up inside the cabinet. There is no hardware needed to secure the bottom shelf, as it will be completely enclosed once the front is secured to the box. Put in the finished grade middle shelf. It will also be locked in place once the face frame is attached. It will rest on the pinions in the cabinet. Move the cabinet box aside. Lay the front of the cabinet down so that the back of the front panel is facing up. On the edges are grooves that will fit into the cabinet's side panels. Inside these grooves are pre-drilled holes where you will screw in the lock nuts. Turn the front of the cabinet over so that the doors are facing up. Open up the doors and you will see a small hole on the edge of the door. This is where you will put the door bumpers. You will want to put these on by hand so as not to damage the door. If the hole is too small, then slightly drill the top of the hole out bigger. Once you have finished with the door bumpers, then put the front of the cabinet aside. To attach the front of the cabinet to the cabinet box, you will want to lay the cabinet box down so that the back of the box is on the floor and the side panels are facing up with the toe kick facing you. Now take the front of the panel and lay it on top of the side panels and the bottom panel so that the lock nuts are inside the round holes holding the cams. Make sure that the front panel is aligned properly in the edge grooves and that the doors and drawer openings are in the right position. With the Phillips head screwdriver, hand tighten the cams in the lock nuts. It is now time to attach the corner brackets with small wood screws that are part of the hardware. In this picture, you can see how the corner brackets look after they have been secured to the cabinet corners. You can secure them using a Phillips head screwdriver or use the electric screwdriver or the cordless drill. If using the electric screwdriver or cordless drill, make sure that you do not try to over-tighten the screws. It is best to have the clutch on the drill set to a high number and adjust it downward as needed. It's time to assemble the drawers. The drawers come with a drawer front, two sides, a back, and a bottom. Lay the drawer front down so that the back of the drawer is up. Before attaching the sides to the drawer front, decide if you want to glue the dovetails or leave them unglued. If you are going to glue them, then use a very small amount of wood glue on each dovetail. You will want to use a small brush to brush on the glue. You need only a very tiny bit of glue and you should barely be able to see the glue once you have brushed it on. Now, take one of the sides and attach it to the drawer front by fitting the dovetails together. You will want to do this for both sides. Using your rubber mallet, gently pound the dovetails together so that they will fit securely. The dovetails should be flush with one another. If there is any excess glue, then wipe it off with a damp cloth. Once both sides are attached, then slide the drawer bottom into the side grooves. Now put the back on, as this will secure the bottom. If you are gluing your dovetails, then do so now for the drawer back, and then fit the back into the right and left side dovetails. Pound the dovetail joints together with your rubber mallet. Repeat these steps with the second drawer. Check that all the dovetails are secured and flush finished. Use the rubber mallet where needed to make sure all the joints are secured properly. It's now time to unpack the drawer slides and mechanisms. The drawer slide release needs to be attached to the bottom of the drawer. The drawer slide release is secured by using small wood screws that came with the hardware. In order to secure the drawer slides to the cabinet, you will want to lay the cabinet down on its back with the doors and front of the cabinet facing up. The drawer slides come with an L bracket upon which the drawer slides and the drawer will sit, wood screws to secure the L bracket onto the slides of the cabinet, white brackets to attach one end of the L brackets to the back of the cabinet, and the drawer slides soft and self-closing mechanisms. Start with the L bracket for one of the sides. It will rest on the bottom corner of the drawer opening. A white bracket should be put on the end of the L bracket to secure it to the back of the cabinet. The back of the cabinet has pre-drilled holes for securing the white L bracket. Once you have one L bracket secured, then set up the center L bracket by resting it on the opposite corner in the front and securing it to the back panel using one of the white brackets. Again, there are pre-drilled holes for the brackets on the back panel. Repeat these same steps for the second drawer. Once the L brackets are in place, then secure the drawer slide mechanism and slide the drawer into place. Once the drawer is in place, you can make adjustments to the drawer slide to make sure it closes properly and is aligned with the cabinet. Thank you for your purchase of Maplevilles custom quality cabinets. Post a photo of your cabinets online with the hashtag Maplevilles. We would love to see the beautiful kitchen that you have created.